Welcome back. I'm very excited for this next video. Got a couple neat things to show you. First off, if you recall from the previous one, I had a heck of a time working with this flame circle actor and getting the params set right. Well, I want to show you a new website that I just found. I'll put a link to this in the description. It is a little tool to help configure those parameters. So let me do this flame circle again. What's it called? BG heat and curtain, something like that. I can search for the actor flame. Okay, flame circle. That's what it's called. We wanted the type that was large and plays a cutscene. And for the switch flag, we wanted it to be switch flag 2. And for the chest treasure flag, we wanted that to also be 2. And wouldn't you know it, there's our param right there, 1082. And that is what I eventually arrived at, doing it manually. So if you are dealing with the vanilla actors, I recommend this site instead of the cloud modding actor list that I was showing last time. This is much easier. It doesn't require you to do any math. Okay, with that out of the way, we're going to move on to the main portion of this video, which is creating new actors for the mod. Now, in a future video, I'm going to go through the full process, doing this kind of the hard way by hand, showing you every part of the actor lifecycle, all the parts of code that you need to get, how it's drawn, that sort of thing. But in this one, we're just going to use the recently announced Hylian Modding actor pack that was put together by CDI Fails and some other folks. And this is just like a collection of free to use actors that are open source and you can use in your own projects. So there's a couple ways to get this. If you head to the GitHub repository, and I'll put a link to this in the description, of course, there's method 1. You can just apply some Git patches to your repository to get all of them. Method 2, copy paste. This is actually the method that we're going to do today, copy paste, because I think it'll be a little bit easier since we've already made some changes to our repository. These Git patches aren't going to work. So we're going to grab one of these actors that I like a lot, which is the Pulse Voice enemy. So to do that, we're going to need a handful of things. First, we're going to head into the source directory. That's where the actor overlay file is located. And we're going to look for source, overlays, actors, HMPack. And here in HMPack, we've got OVL Pulse Voice, and we've got our 2 files here. Let's set up our repository to prepare for copying these files over. First, we need to make that overlay directory. So we're going to do mkdir or makedir. This is going to create new directories, obviously. And that's going to be source overlays actors ovl underscore pulse underscore voice. Fantastic. Now we're going to create these 2 files, pulse voice C and pulse voice H. So I'm going to change this command to just touch and add a / at the end of my directory, and I'm going to do pulse underscore voice.c. Make this a little bit wider so it all fits on one line. And touch pulse voice.h. This touch command is just going to create those files and leave them completely empty. But now we'll be able to see them in Visual Studio Code. If I do Control P, look for pulse voice.c. Here's our empty file. So I'm going to copy paste these guys over. And I can grab this. There's a handy button here, copy raw file. Just going to click on that, should bring it onto the clipboard back in Visual Studio and paste that in. Perfect. And let's do the same thing for the header file, pulsevoice.h. Copy. Pulsevoice.h. Paste that guy in there. Excellent. You'll see this include is yelling at us. We are going to fix that in the very next step. So this is the overlay is like the source code for the actor. It's all the behaviors and things that it's going to do. The second part of an actor is its object file. And the objects are really just like a collection of assets for that actor to use. So any animations, textures, models, all of those sorts of things are going to be in the object file. So let's go ahead and grab those as well. Back on the repo, we can go into the assets HMPacks, open up objects, and we want object pulse voice and it's going to give us a whole lot of files here. Now, I could copy paste each of these by hand. What I'm going to do instead, I'm just going to download this repository, unzip it, copy these files over into my project. I'm going to fast forward the video. So in just a moment, I'll have all of these set up and I'll show you what it looks like in my project. All right, I just got done copying all those files. Let me show you in the Explorer. If I go up here to the top, I've got assets. I can expand objects, and somewhere in this gigantic list of objects, we're going to see object polls voice, and these are all of those files that I just grabbed off of the repo. That's one more step down. Next, we need to create entries in the actor table and the object table for these two guys. So if I hit Control P, I can look for actor_table. And here is a big list defining an entry for every actor in the game. We're just going to add a new one at the end. We'll copy this bottom one. This is going to be called a polls_voice. And we're going to name it actor polls voice and give it a better description here. Same thing. We'll just say polls voice. That handles the actor. Let's do the same for the object table. So that's going to be Control P. Object table.h will be the include. Here we've got a equally large list for all of the different objects in the game. Same as before, we're going to make a new entry, copy that last one. This is going to be object polls voice, and then for the enum, object polls voice. Fantastic. All right, we do need to change it. One quick thing in these source files, because we are not using the same directory structure that the asset pack uses. You'll see this is giving me a bit of a red squiggly here. We don't have this assets hm pack directory. Ours is just called assets. And you'll see once I remove that, everything's looking good. Do the same here, assets. Gonna change that. Give that a moment to update. Okay. There we go. Just took a second. Fantastic. Okay, so we've added the overlay. We've added the object. We've updated the actor table. And we've updated the object table. The last thing to do is tell the game or tell the build system to actually include these files in the ROM. And if you remember, for that task, we edit the spec file. So I'm going to Control P, go to the spec, and somewhere in this big list of spec files, you're going to see, here we go, objects. There are entries for every object file as well. And I'm just going to add onto the end of this object list. So let's see, I'm going to do a Control F and look for object underscore. Yeah, it looks like they end somewhere right around here. I'm going to copy this entry and paste it right below. This is going to be object polls voice. Update these. All right, object polls voice. And I'm going to do the same thing for overlays. That's going to be OVL. Get this huge list of where all the overlays are. I'm going to go down to the end. Here we go. This is the last vanilla overlay. So I'm going to copy that, add one right after it. Ours is OVL polls voice. Make sure I get the directory correct. OVL polls voice. And I want to include z polls voice.o. And this relates to the name of our C file here, polls voice, polls_voice.c. Back in spec. And I also want to include this raylock polls voice. Be honest with you, I don't fully understand this relock file. I know it has something to do with shiftability or something, but I mean, just put it just put it there or it doesn't work. Every other actor has the same thing, this OVL_raylock. This may change in a future version of Decomp, I don't know, but those are the two things you need. Okay, there's our spec. That is our last step, I think, unless I've forgotten anything. And because we touched the spec file, we do need to do a make clean, unfortunately. Once we do that make clean, we can run another make J8 and let that compile. And compilation finished, but I actually got an error. Let's figure out what caused that error. I'm just going to run make with no parameters this time, and this is going to build it in a single thread to make it a little easier to see exactly what went wrong. You see error, unable to open input file, build source overlays actors, OVL pulls voice, z pulls voice.o. Why did that happen? Well, very simple. I talked about it and said it very clearly, but I still made the mistake. I named this file just pulls_voice. If I go back to spec, you'll see for my overlay, I added this z prefix. This is common for all of the vanilla actors. I'm not going to do it for this one. You can if you want for consistency, but I'm not going to. So let's go ahead and rebuild that with a make J8. And we get another error. Cannot find build assets objects, object pulls voice. Let's see what I did wrong with that one. I'm gonna go back to my directory that has the pulls voice object. And you'll see here, if we look at the error again, cannot find build assets, object pulls voice.o. That's because I don't have a pulls voice.c file anywhere in here. I'm gonna make a new file. I can right click on this directory, right click, new file. I'm gonna name this object pulls voice.c. And what I'm gonna do is include all of these other C files into this one. So I only have to, only have one entry in my spec file for this. Let me just write all these out, speed up the video through this part. Okay, that should be all of them, I believe. Let's try to rebuild. Perfect, no errors this time. So just a couple differences in how the HM Actor Pack organizes its objects and how I like to organize my objects. All right, now let's add this guy to our scene that we just created and check him out in game. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab one of the existing actors that I have in this room. We'll do the actor flame circle, select that guy, hit Shift D to duplicate, and I'm gonna move him over right in the center of this room. Let's rename him, it's gonna be actor pulls voice. Because I grabbed this actor from a different room, I do need to change its parent. You'll see it's parented to room 2. I'm going to change that to room 1, so control click on room 0, and then control P, object keep transform. Here's our guy. Now for the actor ID, we're going to select custom actor. And this value here is going to be the same value that you used in the actor table. Actor pulls voice. So we're going to copy that and paste it in there. I don't think this actor has any params, but we can check. I think most, if not all, of the actors from the HM pack, if they do have any parameters, those are listed out here in the description, what they are, how to set them. Doesn't look like there are any here, so we're just going to leave that as all zeros. Another thing we need to do, because this is a custom actor, FAST64 does not know which object file it should use. So we have to set the object file manually for custom actors. And we do that per room. So each room has a list of objects that it needs to make all of the actors you have assigned to that room function. And if I look at some of the existing rooms, like room 1 here, click on the object list, you'll see I've already got entries here for like the Lizolfos, the treasure chests, the keys. FAST64 has added them to that list for me because it knows how to find them, but it doesn't know how to find our pulls voice. So I'm going to create a new entry, add item, and change a select. The first entry here is custom object. I'm going to select that. And you may have guessed, just like for the actor table, let's head to the object table, .h, not .c. And our last guy here, object pulls voice in all caps. I'm going to grab that and paste it in right there. Okay, so now we've got the actor and our object in this room. Let's go ahead and export the scene and rebuild our ROM. hopefully we did everything correctly. We should see the new Pulse voice enemy when we load up the room. There he is. I love this thing. And just like the classic enemy, they are only weak to arrows, I believe. So bombs, sword slashes, nothing else will hurt it. Let's make sure. Shoot some arrows. Fantastic. Love that guy. So that's a quick video on using the HM Actor Pack to grab custom actors and bring them in game. There's a handful of enemies, a handful of puzzle actors. Actually, why don't I pull up a test level that's gonna have all of the new things and just kind of show them off really quick. So let me set that up real fast. And here I am in the little playground scene that's got all of these new actors. First up, we've got this giant fan that blows you up into the air. Very neat. Looks like there's one on the wall, so these work horizontally as well as vertically. Another new enemy. These are the Zoles, I think they're called. Couple different versions, a green version and a red version. Don't care about magic. Up here we've got these goofy little blocks that change when you jump. Do I want to jump to where it will be? Yeah, there we go. First try. What else is there? Oh yeah, I remember these. These ladders are just kind of convenience things if you want a ladder to appear. There are some vanilla actors in OoT that do the same things where it spawns a ladder based on pressing a switch, but these ones are very easy to use and are not hard-coded like some of those other ones are. Okay, up next, what's in this chest? Megaton hammer. That's not new, but the actors right next to it are, so let me equip that. And we've got these little pegs. You may remember these from A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, maybe some other games that I'm forgetting. You can kind of block off access. We've also got these metal crates. These are essentially the same actor as the wooden crates, except you can't bonk them to break them. You have to break them with a hammer. All right, these are another actor you may have seen in other games. I actually made these ones, these little pull switches on the wall. So there's two types. You can grab these, pull it out, and it will stay out if you want to use it as another type of switch. And we also have a timer version where you can pull it out. Another crazy cutscene for that. And if we look, you'll see it is slowly retracting. Once it retracts all the way, that flame ring should come back. There we go. Let's see what else we got. These little rat guys. Love the rats. Spike traps on the floors. That can kill rats. Nice. It comes in a couple different sizes and types. So this one is just always active, and you need to time walking across it, otherwise you get hurt. These ones, yeah, it looks like if you step on it, they'll trigger. I've got another switch here. Let's see what's going on with these. Oh, just a bunch of platforms if you need to spawn. These all have, looks like they're gonna have different properties. I'm guessing this is an icy type. Yeah, that's neat. I like those. Oh, and they're gone. I did look at that actor. You can configure how long it stays active as part of its params. And there's something up at the top here. I'm just gonna debug up so I don't have to climb. These are just some floating platforms. When you step on them, they kind of sink down a little bit to register your presence. Okay, let's see what's in this first door. Actually, I know it's in that first door, so let's go check out the other door. Save that door for last. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is a Pulse voice room. We already know those guys. Okay, so let's go back to that other door. Here we have a very impressive new enemy. There we go. This is the Wizrobe. They have a couple different types of attacks. They can do the ice attack. That will freeze you if you step on it. Like I got another ice attack. Let's see a couple different variations of them. Oh, I saw him. Fire. Neat. I think we can just shoot them with arrows to damage them. Yes. This would be a neat mini boss. Oh, this one's purple. What's he gonna do? Oh, it spawned a blue ball. That's great. So yeah, this is a showcase of the current list of actors in the pack. I believe the plan is to keep updating this and add more and more and more, eventually growing this to a huge collection that you can pick and choose to use for your mods, whichever ones you want, all of them, or just a couple. So that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, in the next one, I want to go through and do this by hand the hard way, writing our actor code from scratch and going through all of the steps and explaining the actor life cycle and things like that. So hope to see you in that one. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.